Hello everybody, it's me GhostCritic and I'm back with another comic book haul, this time from my local comic book store in Northampton, Close Encounters. They're currently having a 50p back issue sale and I bought a bunch. I've split them as always, DC, Marvel, and I picked, that's the bulk of this, it really is, and there was a few kind of Image and a really bizarre type issue that I just picked up because of the artist and creator on it, and that's what we're going to kick off with. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's crack on. We'll start with the kind of oddities and Image books, which there isn't many of. We have Pacific Comics. I always want to call it Pelican Comics for some reason, I don't know, but this is Darklon the Mystic #1, and it's Jim Starlin writing and doing all the art in it, so I'm expecting great stuff from that. It looks very kind of fantasy, a little bit of kind of barbarian in there. Obviously there's some sort of magic going on in there as well, but looks really fun. Slowly but surely chipping away at my Powers collection. These two that I'm about to show you are from volume 1. We've got issue number 6 and issue number 28. It's currently out at the moment with a new series, but it's very sporadic, and when it does come out, it just doesn't have the same feel, or maybe because it doesn't come out so often, you kind of not lose interest, but kind of lose touch with what's going on, unfortunately. Finally, I picked up this. I remember some people talking about this. Nick Spencer writing The Fix for 50p. I thought I'd give it a go. So that's all the kind of tiny, the tiny ones that I've got. Now the bulk of it. We'll start with DC. Up here we go. Let's just check that's looking good. Okay, so Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, a series that I got into this year because my comic book store had got a big run of it in, and I decided to get it, and he gave me them for 50p each, and this is still continuing that trend. We've got Batman Legends of the Dark Knight issue 101. I just love the way this has so many different artists, so many different storytellers, and you kind of get a different kind of feel of Batman with each kind of story arc you read. And then issue number 205, and this one written by Justin Gray with art by Stephen Cummings. Batman issue 440, just for the hell of it. It's Wolfman Perez Nat Pro, so it's going to be a great story, and it's part of A Lonely Place of Dying storyline. It's the very first part. If I don't really collect Batman as much as I love the character, but if I see issues that look like they're going to be interesting, and they're part of a well-known kind of storyline within the Batman mythos, then I'll pick them up just for fun, and obviously it's only 50p. Now, I'm not sure if I had this or not. It's a very striking cover. It looks very familiar. I don't know whether it's just because I've seen it and then put it back. But this is The Creeper, first issue of one that came out in 1997. We'll check that out and see if I have actually already got that. Trying to find all these DC 1 million titles. I managed to find another one. This is the Superman A Man of Tomorrow one-shot kind of event, I guess you'd call it, that DC put out back in. Have we got a date on this anywhere? No, I can't see anything, but are we going to say late 90s, early 2000s? Perhaps. I found the first 5 issues of this, and I'm so glad to have found the last part of this, Legends, which was a 6-part miniseries from Ostrander, Wine, Byrne and Kessel. It was really fun. Had this whole dark side getting everyone to turn against all the superheroes, and it was a really good, fun story, so I'm glad I'll be able to finish that off now. Phantom Stranger is one of those characters I really like, and I think I've got issue 1 and 2 of this. I think this probably wanted to go on a lot longer than it did, but it became a 4-issue mini-series, and this is issue number 4. Manola cover on the front there. Now, I heard someone talk about this many years ago. I want to say it's Tim Howler-Mouse, but I saw this and it reminded me, I'm guessing, of him when he told me about it all those years ago. Sword of the Atom, number 1, Gil Kane and Jan Strand. Sorry, Strand. Is it pronounced Strand or is it Strunard? But thought I'd give it a go. DC's The Warlord, kind of Conan action, but over at DC, number 38. Again, like I said, good big fan of the Phantom Stranger, so I thought I'd pick this up. It's a DC Comics Presents, issue number 72. Superman with the Phantom Stranger and the Joker, and it's Madness in a Dark Dimension. Looks fun. This is a bit beaten up, but it was for, as I said, it was 50p. It's one of the later issues once Jack Kirby had long gone from the title, but it's good to have in there, and throws in a bit of the Legion of Superheroes and Karate Kid as well. Picked this up on a whim because it looked kind of interesting and fun, from the DC Comics Helix range back in the late 90s. Star-Crossed Love During Wartime looks an interesting kind of offshoot of the DC universe. Getting Matt Howarth, probably not one of the biggest names at the time, but gave him a chance on a 3-issue miniseries. Chipping away at the New Gods series. I think this is volume 2, I want to say, from the beginning of the 90s, issue number 14 and issue number 15. And then we go on to the Vertigo books that I found. Always love some good Vertigo, especially when it's from the 90s. I don't know what this is, but it looks very kind of horror infused. Scarab, issue number 1 of 8. Prez, Smells Like Teen President, issue number 1 from 95. Ed Brubaker writing this, so I'm sure this is going to be a damn fine story. Then a one-shot, obviously came out probably around Halloween time, Ghosts. It's got a Neil Gaiman story in there. Well, it's Neil Gaiman's characters, the Dead Boy Detectives, but it's kind of an anthology series, one-shot, so that'll be fun. Remember a lot of people talking about this at the time. The new Deadwardians, kind of a zombie set in Edwardian times. Issue number 1, Dan Abnett and Ian J. Culbert, so give that a go. Managed to find one issue of The Dreaming. This was another offshoot of the Sandman series, using a lot of the characters that were in the original run and being used by lots again of different writers and creators and artists and the like. So that's issue 47. Another offshoot from Sandman. This was a 4-issue mini-series from Bill Willingham, centering around Thessaly, and this was Thessaly Witch for Hire. I got issue 1 ages and ages ago and never saw this again, but issue 2, issue number 3 and issue number 4, so I've got that full 4-issue mini-series and looking forward to reading that. Now, the big one. It is time for Marvel. The first batch is a lot of filling in gaps on little runs that I've been picking up, and just some fun stuff along the way as well. This is the Infinity Crusade. I'm trying to remember if this is the one that was in the middle or the end, because there was obviously Infinity War. I think this was the last one. I want to say, someone will tell me. Someone will tell me. A giant size spectacular, issue number 1 of the Eternals. I love the characters. Jack Kirby, again, creation over at Marvel. Such a 90s cover, that, isn't it? But fun all the same. Some Punisher thrown in the mix. Issue 54. Issue 55. And issue 63. And I spotted a Punisher Marvel Knights series. I think this is when the Punisher was like an agent of heaven, if I remember rightly. I don't remember picking this up at the time. There were other Marvel Knights series of the Punisher, but I'm sure this is one of the ones I don't have. Volume 3 of Silver Surfer, I'm chipping away at that one as well. Issue 135 and 136. Looks like there's some Mephisto action going on there. Then we picked up some Daredevil. This is one of those flashback one-shots that they did. This great cover by Gene Colan there. But yes, a lot of the titles had these, and you'll see another one coming up. But this is like a story from, obviously, that character's past. So that's Daredevil. And some odd issues to fill in gaps of my Daredevil run. This looked familiar, but it wasn't ticked off my list, so hopefully I don't have this. Issue 284. 334. 335. Random Annual from The Incredible Hulk, number 18. Again, it's another one of those ones I'm not sure if I already have. Let's hope not. And an odd Incredible Hulk going back. This looks early 2000s, issue 457. We've got Apocalypse and Juggernaut in there as well. Random Conan, yes, it's a 12p, but not really going to worry when they're 50p, and it's a bit warped, it's a bit tattered, but I like a bit of Conan, and that's why I've got issue number 7 of King Conan that changed to Conan the King soon after, but great Conan stuff from Marvel. Some odd Fantastic Fours, despite the 20p price mark. I prefer the cent ones, as you all know. I wasn't going to leave this behind for 50p, issue 229, given that I don't have it. The Fraction run of Fantastic Four. This is issue 5 AU. So this was the Ultron universe, Age of Ultron tie-in. Again, it's one of those issues that I'm not sure if I already had or not, but I'll soon find out. A filler in on the X-Man run, issue number 48. X-Factor Annual number 8. Issue 1 of X-Men First Class. Just thought I'd have a little bit of fun with that. And finally, another of those flashback one-shots, this time with X-Man. Now, finally, also from Marvel, had to do a little bit of digging and reading on this, and I do remember, I think it was Scott, our custom Bromstar, showed a lot of these off. This was the second of a kind of, I guess you'd call it a trilogy from Marvel Comics. Started off with Earth X, and it was this kind of dystopian future of Marvel where pretty much everyone on Earth had superpowers, and it kind of dropped in on the characters that we know from the regular universe and how they were, I guess, coping in the universe. Now it's changed to everyone having superpowers. What is that, I guess, their kind of role? And that was the original first series. Then they did a follow-up, which is this one, which is Universe X. This is issue 0. Issue number 1. Number 2. looking forward to reading this. It looks like it'll be a fun kind of alternate universe future world. Issue 3, issue number 4. Some really nice covers on these. Issue number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 11. Unfortunately, they didn't have the missing ones there, but I'll have to look out for those now. And then, of course, they did these one-shot Universe X specials. So we've got Beasts, which I'm guessing is going to do with Hank McCoy. Captain America. That's obviously Fantastic Four. Spidey one, which kind of has a great cool cover. That's kind of like a lizard, the lizard there. So that's going to be an interesting look. And then we went on to the third and kind of final installment of this X universe, which was called Paradise X. So we have issue 0, number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm sorry, but there's a lorry outside. I'll get this through these quickly. Issue number 4, issue number 5, number 6. Looks like Annihilus there. Number 7, that has to be the Punisher. Issue number 8. 9, Iron Man and Deathlock there. Number 10, Kingpin. Not sure who that's going to be, but we'll soon see. Number 11. And number 12. Again, they had their kind of one-shots and specials. This was a Paradise X Prelude, which was called Heralds, which was one of 3, and I managed to pick up each one of those. That's issue 2 and issue 3. And then we've got an X-Men Paradise X special and part 1 of 2 of Ragnarok, which was clearly to do with Thor. And that is the big pull that I picked up from my local comic book store. Hope you enjoyed that. Give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.